Welcome back. We're visiting again with Dr. Paul Gosar, our favorite member of Congress, and we wanted to do a quick update on Fast and Furious. With Fast and Furious, our viewers should go to the congressional record and they should look for...
We should look for the affidavits on the wiretaps. Congressman Issa inserted those into the congressional record. Now, being a member who's looked at those wiretaps, I can't talk to you about them, but you can look at them and read the same thing I read, and you can have a discussion with your neighbors. And I would suggest you all go to the congressional record and look at the affidavits for the wiretaps.
Now, folks, go to the website for the Congress of the United States, go to the record, look for those affidavits. Congressman Gosar is specifically legally forbidden to discuss that because it was given in confidence. But it's our public record and we have a right to it. You should read it. And if you have any doubts about how serious Fast and Furious is in terms of the proportion of the scandal, once you read those, you will not have any doubt. The greatest political scandal in American history previous to this would have to be Watergate, because President Nixon eventually stepped down. In Watergate, nobody died.
Absolutely.
In Fast and Furious, we have 2 dead American law enforcement personnel, and we have hundreds of dead Mexicans south of the border, our friends from south of the border. And that's the tip of the iceberg that we know so far. How is it that the mainstream media just doesn't talk about this?
Because this president is a media darling, and that's not acceptable to talk about the media darling. Because you can see the executive order. You know, why would he exert executive order if he was not involved? And this is even worse, Terry, in the fact that these guns, there's over 1,400 guns that will continue to show up at crime scenes, particularly in Arizona, in the Southwest, and in Mexico. And I keep saying this, what is this administration's war on Arizona and the Southwest? This is despicable, and people need to be held accountable for this. That's why when you don't get answers from the Attorney General and he tries to mix different venues, it's sad that we have a the head of the Justice Department who doesn't see justice as blindfolded, not seeing who she gives justice to, weighing the scales of justice to give that a ruling of law and have a sword so that it's adjudicated very quickly.
And not only was Attorney General Holder found in civil contempt of Congress, he was also found in criminal contempt of Congress, and now there are groups that are suing for his bar license to take away his ability to practice law. Is that right?
Absolutely. They filed petitions with the department or the bar in District of Columbia to remove him because he did not satisfy the subpoena request, which would be a violation of his law license. So that's going to be interesting. And I think the second part is the Justice Department said that they would not be filing against Mr. Holder from the criminal standpoint, which is a defamation of our Constitution once again, is that nobody is above the law, that everybody has to be held unequivocally to the same letter of the law.
And even if one of my great points of anger with the Justice Department is everyone is due their day in court. If you're innocent, you want to go to court and have that verified. If your name has been sullied, as the Attorney General keeps claiming that this is groundless and specious, you should run to the courthouse to have everything presented to the public, and you can demonstrate your innocence in front of everyone. And the exertion of executive privilege coupled with the Attorney General's actions show that they are not doing anything to be what they first promised, the most transparent administration in American history. They are constantly hiding.
Absolutely. And when you look that we have the facts that number 3 in Justice Department, Lanny Brewer, Jason Weinstein, and Kenneth Blanco were caught lying to Senator Grassley. In fact, it goes back to the Attorney General himself. In April of 2009, before any of this stuff ever happened, Attorney General Eric Holder in Mexico City talked about an aggressive campaign in gun running that he was orchestrating with Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano, and that he had the support of the president. A week later, the president comes out and supports that initiative and says that 90% of all guns found at Mexican crime scenes come from the United States. What a fabricated lie. I mean, if the lie fits, wear it. And Pinocchio understood that. So from that standpoint, we see this over and over again. We got very little paperwork, but even the paperwork we have, we got them red-handedly lying. There's over 140,000 pages. There's countless witnesses. This Attorney General and this administration said that they would do nothing more than what previous administrations had done, and they wouldn't turn them over. It's funny that all the rest of the administrations had turned over these documents. Even Clinton provided these documents and took their time in court. It's sad. It's a sad day in justice here, but that's why we have to have the election in November.
You are up against the fence as American citizens if you want to see the U.S. Constitution defended. If you have any question in your mind about how serious the violation of the U.S. Constitution is, go to the affidavits in the congressional record and read what your employees, and that's all Holder is, that's all Obama is, they are your employees. They were hired by you, they're funded by you, and you can fire them. And if you read those affidavits in the congressional record, you will definitely fire these people come November. Anything else we need to say with Fast and Furious?
Well, keep tuned. If you think this is the end of the subpoenas, think again.
We'll be back with Dr. Gosar another time and talk Fast and Furious again. In the meantime, God bless you and God bless the United States.